Welcome back to Dice at Dusk. Tonight I'm going to be going over Trash Pandas, the 2 to 4 player game published by Red Rook Games. Trash Pandas is a pressure luck type game where you're playing raccoons digging through trash, trying to stash the most junk and scoring points off of how much junk you stash. If you stash more than another player, then you win. The most points win in this game. The points are broken down on each card. The cards that can be stashed are shown in the top left-hand corner, and they have a point value for how many cards you're stashing. What I mean by that is, let's say we take the Nanners card, for example. It has a 7 on the top, then you have the silver, which is 0, and then the bronze, which is 0. So if you stash the most Nanners card than any other raccoon around the table, then you will gain 7 points at the end of the game. However, if we look at a different card, like Pie, you have a 6 in the top corner, a 2 for the silver, a 1 for the bronze, and that means that the person that stashes the most Pie cards will gain 6 points. The second most will gain 2 points, and then the third most will gain 1 point. If at any time you have the same amount of cards stashed, they just have you take one less than the amount that you're supposed to get, and then both players or both raccoons will gain that amount. But how do you obtain the cards and how do you stash them? This is where the pressure luck mechanism comes in, because you'll be rolling one 6-sided die. On this die, there's different symbols on each side, and each one of them allows you to do something different. The first one is the 2 trash cans, which allows you to draw 2 cards from the deck. The next one are the 2 trees, and this will allow you to stash 2 cards from your hand into your stash pile. The next one is the 1 trash can and then the 1 tree, and that just means you can either take a card from the deck or stash 1 card from your hand. The other one is the little raccoon hand, and this is the steal sign, which allows you to steal 1 card from another player's hand. The next one is the little recycle symbol. The recycle symbol allows you to exchange that recycle token for a token that you were unable to obtain. And the last one is the little mask symbol. And this allows you to draw 1 card from the deck, but you will have to show everybody that card, and at that time, everybody around the table will be able to stash that type of card. But what are these cards that you can stash? These cards all have special abilities, and they all, except for 2, have a point value for stashing them. So what you're going to be doing is rolling this die and then grabbing the corresponding token, but you don't resolve it once you grab it. You continue to roll. If at any time you roll something that you already have, then you bust and your turn is over. Unless you have a special ability that are on some of these cards. But that's the pressure luck part of this game, is you're going to be rolling, grabbing a token, then you're going to roll again and grab another token, and you're trying to grab as many tokens as you can to do as much stuff as you can on your turn. But if you ever at any point bust and roll something that you already had, then you will lose your turn and it goes to the next player and you can't do anything. But the cards that you can obtain in this game all have different abilities. And most of them, except for 2, can be stashed. And that's where this interesting choice comes in with, do I stash it now or do I hold it so I can use it for future abilities? But the cards that you can get are 1, the Nanners card. The Nanners card just allows you to ignore your last roll and choose to stop. The next card that you can grab is the Pie card, which allows you to resolve one of those tokens twice. So if you had one of those, or you had a trash can token, or the 2 trash can tokens that allows you to grab 2 cards from the deck, you would then be able to resolve that token twice and grab 4 cards from the deck. Similarly, if you had the steal symbol or steal token, instead of stealing 1 card from somebody's hand, you could steal 2 cards from somebody's hand. The next card is the shiny card. This one allows you to steal a stashed item from somebody, and then you put it into your hand. So instead of stealing somebody's card out of their hand, you're going to be stealing it from their stashed pile. And now this is different. Everybody's stash pile is going to be face down on the table, so you don't know what everybody's stashing. So you're not going to know what is in somebody's stash pile, but you're going to know that they're stashing it and they're trying to save up those cards. So this will definitely hinder how many cards they're going to have. The next card you can have is the Yum Yum card. The Yum Yum will force a player to continue to roll. Now this is extremely important because if you have, out of the 6 tokens, you already have 4 and you're like, oh, I'm not going to risk it, then somebody can play this card and then make you roll another time, which could cause you to bust. And that is never, never good. The next card you can get is the Feesh card. The Feesh card allows you to look through the discard pile and take a card from the discard pile. The next card is the Blammo card. The Blammo is just an energy drink for raccoons, apparently, and this allows you to re-roll your last die. So if you were to bust, you can play the Blammo card and then re-roll that die, and hopefully you don't bust again. The next 2 cards are the 2 cards that you will not be stashing. All the other ones have point values for at the end game scoring. And the Blammo card is a little different because you just get 1 point for every Blammo card you stored. But these next 2, they are just strictly special ability cards. The first one is the Katay card, which if a player tries to steal from you, you can play this card and then steal from them instead. And the last one is the Daigo card. And this is a dog that's just very clumsy and knocks all these trash cans over. So if you play this card on your turn, you will be able to draw a card for every token that you resolve. So that is how Trash Pandas is played. You're going to be stashing cards, taking cards from the deck, stealing cards from other people, just in efforts to stash the most cards to try and gain the most points at the end of the game. The game was really easy to pick up and play. I think I learned it. The rule book is about a page long. It's one of those accordion style rule books, and it's pretty simple to learn and easy to play. And overall, the game was really, really fun to play, and it plays so quickly. There is some assembly required. You have to put the stickers on the little tokens at the very beginning, but that's not really all that big of a deal. I've punched out tokens for hours, it felt like, before in certain games. But the game, the artwork in the game it's hilarious. Like the words that they have, the pie card or the Feesh card. It's just the words that they have are real clever, and the artwork it gives a real good cartoony, garbagey feel, and I really like that about it. The game, like I said, it plays simple and fast, and it is really fun. And I couldn't really think of a real bad thing about the game. I was sitting there and I'm like, what can I say? I would say if you don't like a pressure luck game, then yeah, you probably won't like this game. Or if you don't like a take that type game, you probably won't like this game. But I don't mind those games. I enjoy them. I like them. I don't like them all the time, but I like to play them every once in a while. And this game was really fun to play. There isn't too much bad I can say about it. I like that the cards have that purpose and that you have that choice in this game. So instead, you don't know if you want to stash a card right away because you might need that card to play on somebody or try to save a roll from you. And you do have that pressure luck, but they also minimize that with these cards and I like that about it too, where you can almost limit the amount of luck that you will need. But in any of these dice games, you're going to have a large amount of luck, and pressure luck, I mean, that's all it is a pressure luck game. But if you enjoy that style game, I would definitely recommend this game. The artwork, it's a small box, you can take it anywhere. The just cleverness, the easy to learn, easy to play, and it plays 10-20 minutes maybe. It doesn't take very long. And I talked about the deck being a size, or the deck being a counter in a game in a previous video I did. And I like that the deck is a counter. And it's almost like you can see this counter going down. And you're like, oh, I need to start stashing more cards as you go on. And I really like that. That helps for having a pretty fixed time limit on a game. Now, there is a little bit of, especially it's 2 to 4 players, so there's a little bit of time in between turns. So if I'm rolling and I'm going and I'm like, oh, what do I want to do first? Because you can resolve these tokens in any different order. So how you resolve them can really affect how you play and your strategy on this. So having somebody do that, it could take a little bit of time to go around the table for a 4-person game. A 2-player game, you're not going to really see that. It's going to be them, then you, then them. And it goes pretty quickly. But I will say, if there was one bad thing I could bring up, is there's a slight delay between your turn in a larger game, in a 4-person game. And that's what I think about Trash Pandas. But leave your comments below and tell me if you think you'll like it. Also, check us out on diceatdusk.com, social media, and like this channel. But until next time, play more games.